Hey guys, welcome to another session of Epic 7. This is a video on my thoughts on Roana right now. Rowana, I'm gonna call it Rowana, I'm just kind of used to that. Earth Elemental Soul Weaver, and you know, it's been a while since we had like a really meta, like pure healer. I think Lots is good, Lots became pretty good, and Destina of course was used and still is used a lot. I do like her in this new edition. I've been wanting an Earth Soul Weaver, although we're speculating that Ray, who's potentially coming out, is a Soul Weaver as well, because his character, and then he potentially is an Earth because he's got leaves flying around. But enough of that speculation. She is a Pisces, so this means that's the same stats as Ruel. If you guys actually haven't watched the one of my latest JXC videos on the defense challenge, there's a very good Ruel to reference. In my opinion, if you can get her build like that Ruel from the Asia server, I think you're good to go. 98 speed, not very slow, 5,400 health. It's fairly good. This is around like a DN, no, a bit higher than DN of course. The defense is insanely high, so this is it comes with the kit. The imprint concentration, this is where I'm kind of like, I wish I had more bookmarks. Imprint concentration is 18% health, and she heals based on her max health. So in all seriousness, unless you get like perfect like sub rolls and sub stats, you're not gonna be getting everything here. The defense is very high, so you most likely don't need to run a defense main stat on the right side. It's a near 800 defense. It's gonna scale really well as long as you get like a couple very good well-rolled defensive subs. I think you're set. In terms of yeah, the speed 98, like I said, is very high. No innate effect resistance, and again that imprint concentration is very handy. The next one, we're gonna take a look at the skill 2. I am going in the order that the video was released, so again, if you haven't checked out this video, definitely check it out for the entire thing, like how the animation looks and stuff like that. Vigilant Eye, this is skill 2. This is a passive skill, so recovers health of all allies when an ally is attacked by an extra attack, counterattack, or dual attack, and increases the combat readiness of all allies by 5% each per allied attacked. So I confirmed this with the guys on stream. Of course, I'm not super smart. They're helping me out. The extra attack counts for SSB. Now, if you watch the video, it actually does show, and it pretty much promotes it, almost like you've had enough of SSB. Here you go, man. There's this healer that can just take her on. But her skill, her S2 passive counts as an extra attack, and a counterattack, of course, in a dual attack is self-explanatory. But if it is like an SSB, it's 5% per attacked ally. In a 4-man team, RTA or Arena, of course, you're looking at 20% CR boost. That's incredibly good. So like having her is high counter SSB, because you don't want your enemies to get the turns before you do. But your SSB, you can't even stop her from doing her S2 passive. So I'm quite interested, how the meta may shift. Now the other thing is that when I say meta, people are just like, well, just ban her, right? Just ban her. But there are other ways to counter SSB. Cough, not Pavel right now. Cough. There are other ways to counter SSB. So if they pick a SSB pick, you pick Rowana, you potentially could even pick like another hero that counters her, at least for you. Let's say a Yufine, and your Yufine is like really fast and she hits really hard or something. You can take out most SSBs or something, because even if you don't kill SSB, you can stun her with the strip into the stun. The amount recovered though, when you heal from this, it's proportional to the caster's max health. If I did my calculation correctly, +7 on the skill enhance is 55% extra healing. Now I have a screenshot here of the capture of the actual heal itself. In the video demonstration, she's running about 20,000 HP. The heal, you can see there, it looks pretty high. It full healed them all. So it doesn't matter how much HP they have, because the heal is based on the caster's HP. So I don't think they can really oversell this. 5,260, that's a Charles in the back. I don't remember who I think it's a Violet on the bottom, 4,593, and then 3,900 for herself. So because it's caster HP, there's really no like, you know, overselling this, so it looks to be very promising, that heal. But of course, just keep in mind that heal is no good. Like, you won't get that heal at all if you don't counterattack, if you don't dual attack, and of course if you don't have the extra attack. So potentially you can make her a more or less not a healer, you know what I mean? So only, I would say, like, she becomes a very good pick, a very good standard healer versus a very high counter or dual attacking type of team. So like a Lilius, ML Ken, SSB. So but just keep that in mind. So I don't think that we see her heal in the video, her full potential of her S3 heal, which is what I'm covering right now. I'm assuming this heal won't be that strong compared to the S2 because the S2 is conditional. So I feel that in that sense, it makes more sense for that heal to be pretty OP because you're punishing them for doing those said mechanics. This one though, it again recovers health of all allies and grants revive for 2 turns. And because it has a revive buff, I just don't think that this is going to be a very high heal. Of course, it is an AoE heal, so every bit of heal counts. A Shamadra staff may be good on her if you wanted to use this as your main source of heal. Amount recovered proportional to the caster's max health. So there we go again. So that imprint, that self imprint becomes very, very nice to have. I wish I saved, man. Anyways, hopefully they buff all the heroes that we wasted the bookmarks on, that we regretted. So yeah, so the skill cooldown is only 1 there. So 4-turn skill cooldown, a pretty standard. Before revive buff, it is decent. Keep in mind that this is not like Maid Chloe's revive buff. This is like old Maid Chloe before she got the dev buff, where her S3 only did the revive buff, but not revive. I think that's how it worked. Yeah, I think that's how it worked. So you don't want to... Oh wait, did it work that way? I don't remember actually. I think it was, right? It was that way? I don't remember. But either way, this can be stripped. And of course, if they're dead before she gets a turn, you can't revive them. So I wouldn't really consider her as a reviver. I would, yeah, just revive buffer. Just consider it that way. So yeah, anyways, this is the S3. The S3 animation is okay. I think people are going to be focusing on certain things, but let's just skip. S1 on Roana's Soul Purification. This is a pretty decent one as well. A pretty decent one. The guys on stream allowed me certain things. The barrier on this, I think, will be like even though it says increases proportional to the caster's max health, we still need the modifier on it. So obviously, I mean, the higher health, the better. But the barrier is at a 25%. Okay, so 25% on top of whatever is her original barrier. So it is based on the caster's max health. So like not like a DN's barrier, where DN's is the target's max health, which can be good and can be bad as well, the barrier of course, because in DN's case, if she has lower HP than all of her like the heroes she's supporting, then the barrier really pays off. In Roana's case, if she has lower HP than everyone else, then her barrier doesn't really pay off. But again, I do want to see the mod for this. Granting a barrier to the ally with the lowest health for 2 turns. So kind of like an MLCC passive, but you have to actually grant the attack here. I'm pretty sure a dual attack will trigger this. I'm pretty sure a counterattack will trigger this as well. And then if you soul burn it, it costs 20 souls, grants the barrier to all allies for 2 turns after attacking. So I think the soul burn might be good. Again, it might come clutch. Like I said, if you don't have the S3 to heal, the barrier is as good as a heal. In most barrier soul weavers, it's as good as a heal. Maybe this is your only option. And like I said, if they don't have a dual attack, if they don't have a counter attack, and you're not getting the passive off, she won't be healing. So I think Rowana is good, very solid, but I feel that she's a bit more more niche compared to Sinful Angelica, which I reviewed on another video, or have my thoughts on another video, so check that out if you want to check that out as well. I feel like I would bring ML Angelica into more fights, but if you want just pure healing, and like I said, it counters a ton of stuff. It does counter a ton of stuff. RTA is heavily, especially higher end RTA, is heavily based on counterattacks or really high speed. It's either one of those two. Like either your whole deck is super high speed, or you're like almost all counter. So it's she might come in handy. Definitely not saying she's not usable, but I think overall she's good, and she's another Soul Weaver with a totally diverse kit that I really like. So I think she's worth going for. I just feel that there potentially at the point of this recording, there's potentially a collab coming again. This collab could potentially be Guilty Gear, potentially be new heroes, but let's not speculate too much, especially not on this video. So I'll talk more about it on her release, on her patch note, in terms of like whether or not you should be pulling for her. I think in terms of a role, Sinful Angelica compared to her, again, I'm comparing them because they were released, the info was released at the same time. Sinful Angelica compared to her, I feel that she has less roles filled. She's really a healer, but really argues for the opponents to be countering her. And I really wouldn't like put all of my eggs into the revive buff basket for her. That was one of the reasons why Maid Chloe was really bad before. But Maid Chloe hardly healed. That was another problem. So anyways, the last thing is the Touch of Rekha. So this is her artifact that will come on her release as well. If you get the max limit broken, it recovers health of all allies by 10% after being attacked. This effect can only be activated once per turn, and the amount recovered increases proportionally to the target's max health. So I think the reading is that she has to be with the one attacked, but it doesn't matter what type of attack. So it could be a counter, it could be SSB very well, which would stack with her passive, I think, with her S2. But it's only once per turn. So, you know, are you gonna build a really speedy? I don't know. In my opinion, this artifact is somewhat situational. It might be needed though, in terms of like if you're not, let's say if you're baiting like some kind of fire cleave, which we don't really have that much, I guess Lilius or something, this might be okay, but I don't think that this would be her main. I think some of the regular, I think people are saying Potion Vial, Stella Harpa, those one would be good, because she definitely, like, healers right now really need a cleanse to fulfill a lot of roles, especially in RTA. So I think Stella Harpa might be good, Potion Vial might be good. Your usual, I think, if you're guaranteed to bring her into, let's say, a defense comp, like say in GVG or something, that has a ton of counters, a ton of dual attacks, so like i.e. again Lilius, maybe even Sinful Angelica, because Sinful Angelica does have the dual attack as well. So those kind of heroes, maybe you could put a Shamadra staff on her as well. That might be nice. But in terms of build, I do think that she needs to be, if you're gonna use her in terms of this counter SSB role, she needs to be tanky enough. I would give her an immunity set. Effect resistance is always nice to have, but I think compared to ML Angelica, I think I would probably up her HP defense speed requirements over the effect resistance, more so than trying to chase high effect resistance on her. She has 0 to boot, so it's going to be a bit hard, but like I said, if you could build her like the Ruel I showcased in my latest JXC, I think you're pretty much good to go. You don't really need an immunity. So anyways, that's my thoughts on Rowana. Again, comparing, I know a lot of people are just like, well man, she's so broken. I think she's good to counter certain things, but I think she's good. I think she's good, but she's not as OP to me as ML Angelica at this point. But perhaps my thoughts will change. I'm gonna end this for the video recording. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.